Hello everyone and welcome back to SingleQuest. Today we are building a lot of things. And basically I've kind of got a general idea of what I'm doing right now. There's two main projects that I want to complete right now. And it took diamond slabs and cutting up iron blocks with the diamond handsaw. Funny enough. Why did I do that? Well, I'm going to need some more copper right now. 4 copper to be exact. It's funny. You needed diamond draw plates, which are made with, here, I'll just press R. 1 diamond panel and 4 iron panel strips, which you make by cutting things up. But it turns out that they take durability damage. You don't need a ton of them. You only need 1 to get what I need to make here. You put the copper with 1, and you basically get these copper wire strips. And then, what you do with them is you put them all into a little formation like this, with some iron bars, and a single iron ingot in the middle. I don't have that. Anyway, what I'm thinking about doing right now is building the blue electric engine. Because, as you may remember, over here I have a blue alloy furnace attached to a blue battery box attached to 2 solar panels going upwards. I really have no use for that power at all, and I need to figure out, is blue electric power, Is it MJ? Is it EU? Is it something totally different? Okay, so there's my 2 copper coils, and I just need 6 iron and 1 blue alloy ingot. So it's a good thing I made these ahead of time, isn't it? Blue alloy ingots, again, are very simply made. You just need a ton of nickelite and iron, I think. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not, though. And then why would you want that? I don't know. But it seems like it's definitely cheaper solar panels with blue electric power, especially since I've had to make the advanced ones with Greg Tech. There we go, blue electric motor. Now, what I do with the motor is... What do I do with the motor? Right, blue electric engine takes brass gears, brass ingots. Okay, brass gears. How do you get to brass? Because I've already got 4. I've already got 4 brass. Brass. I believe it's copper and some tin in the alloy furnace. Am I right? I think I'm right. So I just put in some copper, put in some tin. Yes, and then it does the rest. So this will just take up 1 tin at a time as opposed to 3 copper, so I can just kind of let this thing do its job, and I don't really need to mind. Okay, so next step. While that's working, how do you get to brass gears? Well, that's simply a stone gear with brass around it. Okay, so that's simple. If you all know how to make gears, which is basically just sticks and then stones, insert your own joke there, why don't you? Then we will be on our way to doing the blue electric. Not doing anything. You know what? I'm going to figure this out later. Yeah, because there's a second thing that I want to make and I actually know how to use it. So I'm going to leave this blue electric engine in my project table. And we're going to build an iron tank today. Because this much biofuel is way too much. This goes all the way down to the basement. I put in this tank as a temporary holding thing, and it's just gone way out of hand. So out of hand that I can't even think, okay? So we're going to build an iron tank today. So there's a couple of things you might want to make with that, which is a valve, which is made very simply by beating half-light. No. There we go, with a lever. 4 iron tank valve blocks. That's perfectly enough. Now to make the other things we need, we're going to need a ton of iron tank walls, so we're just going to get, like, all of this. 60. Good. Now, I made a whole bunch of these iron panels ahead of time. They're made with 4 iron ingots in a square pattern in a rolling machine, so it does take power to make them, but it's totally worth it. And next, I'm going to want some... I did this pattern totally wrong. It's got to look like a plus sign. There we go. Or the number 5. And you put in some glass panes, and that will give you the iron tank gauges, is what they're called. But honestly, look at that. They're just the viewing areas. And if you're going to have a giant iron tank, you might as well see what's going on inside of it. Okay, so, iron tank. The way you make this is either a 3x3 base, a 7x7 base, or a 5x5 base. I know I did that totally out of order, but it doesn't matter. So the next concern is where are we going to put this monster of a tank? Because I can make liquiducts just to very quickly transport my biofuel into it. So, here's my concerns. You can only output mass from the tank through the bottom valve. If I put valves in the top, it can be inputted into it, but it can't be outputted. So that means I'm going to want to make another tank area up here, probably. So we got my coal thing doing its thing here. Got a big hole here for the blue electric solar panels. Got the steel maker here, which doesn't really need to make steel for me. Haven't had a need for steel in a while. Okay. The smartest thing to do would be to put it somewhere in this vicinity, because then I could attach a wire over to attach this to my EU generator. Because what I'm going to do is build a a biofuel generator, so if I ever need a ton of power at once, I can use up all the biofuel. So, that's the problem, the coke oven's in the way of putting it right here. So, why don't we just break this all the way up, and we'll make the tank here, right here. Yeah, I don't mind that. Sure, this'll be okay. Alright, so if the fuel can only be outputted here, what I could do is attach a line up over into an engine and attach it there. That might be simple, especially since liquiducts, the important thing about the liquiduct is that it needs not only no introduction, but, oh well, now I'm just breaking the floor. Let's put the floor back in. The liquiducts don't need a redstone engine to be able to pump things out of tanks. So that's why they're a significant improvement. I mean, redstone engines all the time, okay, sure, they're pretty. Maybe. Not really. Okay, so let's start building the iron tank. We're going to start with just a simple 3x3, I think, because I don't really know what I'm doing. And if I was going to make it any bigger, it would either have to destroy the coke oven or break this chest. And this chest is just full of junk. We're not going in that. Okay. But I can make it pretty much as high as I want. I think. Maybe not that high, but significantly higher than other things. So probably up to 7 blocks high. I mean, I don't need it to hold all the biomass, or biofuel. There's really no difference to me. I mean, there is. You gotta go through a still to get that stuff. But regardless, there we go. Let's say that this is our frame. This is a pretty reasonable thing to make the tank only be as high as our friggin' roof. Right? I think so. Okay, now we gotta start thinking about how we want to do this, because we can make this in any combination. So we don't need anything here, so we can just throw in more tank. And 3 right here. Or 2 right there. There we go! You saw how it all, what's the word? Changed its texture on me? Yeah, now I can right-click on it, and it understands that it holds 864,000 units. I don't know how much that is, honestly, but I'm sure it's not that big of a problem. So, what do we do with the tank now that we've made it? Well, I'm going to need a lot of liquiducts, and they're going to need to come up from the basement, because I doubt I can plug it into the top of the pipe and just ignore every... Wait, where do you want to go? Fine, steal my bluesite chloridite blocks. I'll get it back anyway. Golems around this base are so picky. You drop one thing on the floor and it's, you know, follow my commands. They can't just give themselves a break. At least they're happy, you know. You can't say that I didn't make my workers happy by giving them ridiculous commands. Oh god, if there's ever a golem work party, they are gonna hate me all the time. Okay, let's just chuck this random junk in here for now. There we go, liquiduct pipes. It's only going to connect to the valve area. Okay, good. And it's just going to go straight down from here. And where does this end up connecting to? I haven't really looked into that. Okay, so if I were to just destroy the floor and make this come straight down, where would I end up? There's a lot of blocks here, isn't there? Oh, okay, I'd end up on top of here. Oh, well, when I'm here, I can just go through the wall, couldn't I? That way, the tank, which is holding the biofuel, is still being a bit inefficient because I'm not pumping everything I need to be pumping. Interesting. Okay. 1 minute. Let me think about this. It all depends on where it goes. I mean, then I've still got it visually working, right? And visually, it's kind of nice to see all this orange goop. Of course, that means it'll never quite pump everything out of it, will it? Unless the liquiducts will work from anywhere. I don't know. I really haven't worked with the liquiducts all that much. Ever. Or the tanks. Or anything for that matter. So let's just do that. Connect the pipeline down here, and we'll just see what happens. Because part of SingleQuest is just, you know, experimentation. So, we got the liquiducts. They're coming down here. They're gonna attach this way, and I'm gonna shove them directly over that thing. No, that's bad. Right here. Yeah, okay, so how do you get rid of these? Probably with, where is it? The Omni Wrench, I'm guessing. Probably need to right-click with this sucker to get rid of them. Yes, that's indeed the case. Oh, no. No, come back here, Golem! Oh. You make a nice Golem, and he just kind of doesn't understand that sometimes you don't want them to operate. Okay, so, we'll just plug this directly into this pipe. And then I believe the way that works is you right-click on the Omni Wrench, and it will immediately start sucking things out one way, like that, right? There we go. Okay, so this is just going to start draining all the biofuel, I think. Is this going to drain it up to the point where the pipe is, or is it going to drain it all the way down? I don't know yet. We're going to look and see. Okay, it's apparently going to drain everything out of it. That's great. Let's stop the pipe for right now, just to see if it's doing what I want it to do. Is this filling up correctly? Well, there's, yeah, there's a little bit in there. Of course, it holds a ton of biofuel. So what I could do is just leave this pipeline on all the time. I was a little concerned that I had too much of it, but apparently this is great. And that means I don't need a pipe going past my ceiling. Why did I do that? Because I was a little bit worried. I was a little scared that I was going to have no room left whatsoever. So now, it makes a little sense. Looks nice. Looks good. Looks proper. I can tear down that part of the tank if I want to. I don't really want to. It's going to drain the whole thing. All the way down. I changed the ladders around a little bit because it didn't make a lot of sense to have two. So there she goes. The biofuel generator is working at peak efficiency. Even the fermenter's loving it. Oh, I should probably tell it to stop outputting energy. Although it is totally full, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Because none of my machines are working anymore. Right, because the centrifuge ended. The still is the only thing generating power right now, so I should probably do something about that. Although that does give the magma crucible some time to heat up, because that thing, although it works with the secondary magma power, it does take ages. So is it actually still pumping? I don't know. Maybe it is? Very, very interesting. I love working with new things. I can just turn this off. And let it work. It's magic, probably. Or not. Okay. I feel good. I've accomplished something today. Not a big something, just tanks. But I never had tanks before. Here I've got a brewing room. And no, I don't really know what I'm doing. Basically, you make booze barrels with rubber wood, and then you put sugarcane and wheat in them. I haven't figured out how to get the wheat ones to work, because I'm not getting anything when I right-click. But the sugarcane ones do. I really don't know how to change things. See? So you get rum, and then you drink it, and then it gives you resistance and fire resistance. Yeah, kind of a novelty, really. I thought I'd just show off that I've got a little part of my house dedicated to trying to test out how to make better drinks, which are not working that well. Anyway, there's a couple of things I really want to do today. And what they all involve is my plan for the late game. Oh man, all these swirls around me. This was a bad plan. Anyway. Yes, you little golem, you will come in handy later. But basically, right now, what I want to show you is the Steve's Carts mod a little bit. So where would you start with Steve's Carts and why? This is one thing that I will explain right now. You want to build yourself a cart assembler. This is what it's going to look like. And if you want to figure out how to build one, I'll just put up the recipe right now. So in Steve's Carts, you might be thinking, well, what can you use a minecart for, really? Well, my friends, a lot of different stuff. So to make the cart assembler, it just takes stone, iron, and PCBs. And PCBs just take more iron, so it's really simple. You can make this early in the game, late in the game, it doesn't matter. You are going to need coal. See, right here, it fills up the fuel gauge for when it makes your cart. But basically, what you need to do, and what I love about Steve's Carts, is that you need to think about what you're going to make, but easily enough, all these little keywords here, engines, tool, attachments, storage, add-ons, you can just search for that right here in the search bar, and it can find you all the things that you need. So, first of all, you start with a hull. And there's 3 of those. Wooden hull, standard hull, reinforced hull. The idea behind this is that certain hulls can have more complexity, you see? So the standard hull, you make it with iron and iron wheels. Iron wheels are just even simpler than iron gears, right? And it has a complexity cap of 50. Now, you don't know what that means just yet, but watch this. If I type in attachments, it will find all of the attachments that you can attach to your cart. And that's where oh, maybe I typed it wrong. Right, it's not plural when I search it up. My bad, one sec. I practiced this, didn't I? There we go. So this is all the things that you can add to your cart. So, you could add a railer, which you would build like this with just rails, iron, and things like that. Looks good. And then it only has a complexity of 3. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes when you have attachments, they'll conflict too. For example, the very first solar engine you can make, you can't have that and a seat at the same time because they both sit on the top of the cart. So basically, you can have these carts that farm for you, you can have carts that shoot projectiles at enemies when they get close, or you can build what I've built over here, a multi-purpose cart that can do pretty much anything I want it to do. But first, I need to grab some stone. Alright, I'm going to explain. It takes some time once you put your cart specifications in to build with some fuel. This particular cart that I've got here only took 3 minutes to create. So, that's not a big issue at all. I need some stone, and I'm going to need some rails for the railing attachment. Now you might be thinking, why in the world is this worth it? Well, for one thing, it's really cool. Okay, I have built a machine that runs on coal that will rail for me, that will create things at various distances, as in, it will build bridges over water. It will, it can dig through a solid mountain if it came up to one. Now what I'm doing here is just going through my auto crafting table with my creosote oil to make rails. Not a big issue ever, really, once you have a ton of creosote oil. I've never showed this off before, eh? Yeah, rails. It's actually kind of fun to make now. We'll leave this in here so I can figure out how to do it next time. You just take the rail beds, and these standard rails, you just put 6 steel, and you get, I think, 16 of them in the, what is it called? Oh yeah, the rolling machine. I'm gonna fill myself up with rails. Enough of them, anyway. This probably won't be a lot for right now. Do I have any extra coal in my miner's backpack? I did just come back from coaling and mining and that sort of thing, and hey, look at that. 15 refined iron must have just kind of been lying around my base. Alright, not a problem. Okay, so what is my plan right now? Well, 2 things. I need to get to the end for one of my late game plans, because here's the thing. I'm gonna eventually get a fusion reactor, okay? And I definitely want my own nuclear power. That's ridiculous and amazing, and you bet I want some of that. But the thing is, most of the late game stuff, from what I've seen, takes iridium plates, and iridium is apparently harder to get to than titanium. Okay, here's my cart from Steve's Carts. Now, I'm just going to show you right now, if I were to break this modular cart, well, it drops all the items it had, first of all, but I still get to hold it. So what it's got on it is standard hull, coal engine, basic drill, seat, railer, and bridge builder. Perfect. And when I put it down, that is exactly what it looks like. Drill on the front with the railer, nothing on the sides. I could have gotten... No, the compact solar engine was way too complex. So there's limits, right? Some limits, but there's so many different options you can have. You can put in a height controller so you can make it drill at diamond level. You can put in a bigger drill. This is just the basic one, but the other ones are more costly. Okay, so you right click on it and then you can tell it things that, wait, need more fuel. Okay. You can right click on it and tell it things. So I'll put the coal in the machine. Oh, I gotta turn it off. Disable the engine, yes, or it'll ride off without me. That's what these little buttons here are for. Okay, so we'll just shift click in the rails into the railer, and we'll put in some stone into the bridge builder. There's only 2 bridge materials from what I've learned. Those 2 materials being stone and wooden planks. But for today, we are definitely going to fill up the engine, and we're just going to take this thing as far as it can go on this little line. This should take me to the nether... No, not the nether fortress. Oh! No! Wait a minute. I'm going backwards. Okay. Here's the thing. I realized, wait a minute, I've got portal travel. Portal travel is like easy. Okay, I know it would be fun. It would be fun and cool to have minecart tracks all over the place. But it's about time I used that nether star to build a second portal gun. Ah, yes, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But it all relates. Just like that clay golem is going to come in handy a little bit later. I still haven't finished talking about Iridium. Okay, I want to build Atlas's portal gun, right? Or is it Peabody's? I don't know. The one that gives me red ones. Is it this one? Bacon. I don't know what bacon does. Okay, so anyway, I need a portal gun. Gotta get me a portal gun. It's gonna take some obsidian, a diamond, and the miniature black hole, which is gonna take ender pearl dust, which is 8 ender pearl cooked up. Oh, sweet. That's easy enough. Let's go cook up an ender pearl. Okay, here's the thing. Iridium. Getting ahead of myself. Iridium. There are possibly 3 places to find it. One of them is you make UU matter in a matter fabricator. This takes an absolute long time, but technically you can create it. The issue is it takes 8 iridium to build that thing. So it's kind of like the extractor, where you would need to get rubber first to build the coils to build it. So it's something I want to have in the future, but it's certainly not going to work right now. So the thing is, that doesn't work. The second option for Iridium is that I think you can randomly find it in the nether. Unfortunately, I've searched the whole nether. Well, not the whole... No. Oh boy, how presumptuous of me to say that. No, I've just been flying around in the nether with my jetpack, and I have not found a single thing that really helps me just yet. Miniature black hole. There we go. So now I just need iron and 2 obsidian, I think. Put an empty frame on the wall. It'll get filled up eventually with something. So, what do I do to get iridium? The third option is something I want to explore a bit later. There's a thing called asteroids that grow in the end now. That's right, if you fly around in the end, you might find these asteroids full of ores. Oh, by the way, you can also find iridium in a dense ores area if you're still playing Mistcraft. But I'm not. That got removed, so unfortunately I can't do that. So to make a portal gun, I just do this, right? Did I do that wrong? Portal gun. Oh, and a diamond in the front. Who am I kidding? I can't build a portal gun without a diamond in the front. How did the... well, I can't say. How did the real portal gun have it? Yeah, I'm living in such a fantasy world. I think these things are real. There we go. Default portal gun. Now, oh my god, isn't that a nice sound effect? Okay. Dandelion yellow with the portal gun should turn it into a different portal gun so that I can make more portals. There we go. So the portals that this sucker makes. Orange and red. Whoa, 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 this is bad, this is bad. Okay, let's just, oh no. Okay, yeah, and then you can press G, is it? Oh no, G picks up blocks. Is it R? Yes, it's R to remove all the portals that this gun has made. Wow, hey, this one looks like it makes portals a lot easier than the other one did. Especially since you can see through them. Okay, now that I've got the portal gun, my plan can be made. Rails might be difficult to build, but I'm still going to build them. And I'm going to put a portal in my house and a portal at the end so that I can use the mining laser on an asteroid.